If there is something that Sony loves more than money, it's free money. And what better way to do this than re-releasing the same game over and over, slapping the word remaster on it, and charging $70 for it, like it's something new. This is the sad state of Sony right now. A company that over the past 10 years has re-released most of its games with barely any effort. Frame rate boost, check. Higher resolution, check. $70 price, double check. They even remastered Days Gone, a game they themselves called it a financial failure and cancelled its sequel. But the gold medal in this regard goes to The Last of Us. To say that they have milked the shit out of this franchise is an understatement. First, they released the first original Last of Us game for PS3 in 2013. Then, they released the remastered version for it for PS4 in 2014. In 2020, they released The Last of Us Part 2 for PS4. And in 2022, guess what did they release? A remake. Yes, you heard that right. A remake for the first game that they have already remastered. So they released The Last of Us Part 1 for PS5. In 2024, they released a remaster for The Last of Us Part 2 for PS5. And in 2025, they released the complete edition that includes Part 1 and Part 2 for PS5 and PC. But despite their love for remasters and remakes, and fans begging for it, Sony still refuses to remake the original God of War trilogy. Now, don't get me wrong, this is Sony we are talking about. Of course they released an HD collection of God of War 1 and 2 for PS3, and a God of War 3 remastered for PS4. But what fans really want is a true remake, something in the terms of what Capcom did with Resident Evil 2, 3 and 4, or like Silent Hill 2, taking a beloved classic and giving it a new life with updated gameplay, modern visuals and fresh mechanics. Yet Sony refuses to do anything for the original God of War trilogy. And if you are asking yourself why, well, simply because they are too old for them. But come on, Resident Evil 2 came out in 1998 and God of War 1 in 2005. What does too old really mean for Sony? Well, here's what it means. First, they may need to update the gameplay and progression systems. Voice acting may need to be re-recorded. No motion capture in older games, which means everything has to be animated from scratch. Camera angles would need to be changed to match the new God of War games. Nudity needs to be toned down. And worst of all, it's a trilogy. They will need to do this 3 times. So, what does this mean? Well, it means that Sony will have to invest money and time in this project. It means that there is a real risk that it may not reach their sales expectations. In short, real effort, real budget, real risk. And Sony, lately, they don't seem really interested in that, unless it is a live service game that they can milk for years and years. They had the perfect chance to announce something during the 20th anniversary of God of War, and still nothing. I hate to say it, but I don't think we're getting a remake anytime soon. This generation of PlayStation has been the laziest for Sony, and it's especially disappointing when you see Microsoft remastering Oblivion and doing a decent job at it, while Sony unlocks a frame rate cap and calls it a day. I hope I'm wrong. I really want to be wrong. But until that day comes, I'd like to say to Sony, shame on you.